Boom. Oh shit, people in here. Damn. What up, Brian Rich? Cause I said so. Jason Rivers, bro. L Wise. What's cracking, people? Y'all in here already? Shit. What's up? That's the only people I see. Wipe your feet. That's what I'm talking about. Cause you got decorum. You got some style and class. Brian Rich. Shout out to Brian Rich for wiping his feet. What up? Spread the wealth. Bar Heavy J. Wonderful Storm. Peace to the pleasure. Or peace to pleasure. What up? K Gemma. Mrs. B. What up? Courtney Dockery. Rob Clark. We Call. Truth and Chakra Vibe. What is that? Past the Vibration? Or Past City Vibrations? I hope that's it. Brian Bennett, Gerald Jokes, Mrs. Cherry, Mr. Maisie, or Mazee, Goddess Gemini Bunny, Dwayne Hicks, what up, Melanated 8, or Melanated Brown, excuse me, Andrew Marshall, Spirit Journey, DJ Sherm, Eric Pope, who was that? Conceptual Elixirs, appreciate you, brother, thank you for the super chat. What's that? Bailey the Gentleman, Charles Walker. I think I got you, Eric Pope, Thelma Humphreys, Travion McClinton, Randy Lanier, Henty Hetty Nefru, Empress Raguba, Demetrius Gordon, Sharky Dog. What's cracking, Sharky Dog? Antonio Mercado, Gerald Jelks, One Immaculate. There's El Dragon Amaru Khan. That's right, baby. Got you, Conceptual Elixirs. Appreciate you, brother. What up, Leo Fire? A better me, a better you. What's cracking? Got you, cause I said so. True More, Iron Diet, Desiree Craig, Faith Ford. What's cracking? Let's see. The Herbal Goddess, Chuck Taylor. Terry Bell. I got y'all. Kissed by the Sun. Carmel Soldier. Man, there's a bunch of y'all in here. Who was that? Melanie C. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate y'all, man. All right, man. It's a little hot today, y'all. I ain't even lie. Shit. It's a little hot today. That's how it be in Cali, man. You never know. One day is cold as hell, then I'm trying to rush through this shit because it's hot. That's the next on the next day. You never know. But what's up, everybody, on this hot Saturn's Day? We're gonna see if we can get through some of this news. Not much that happened this week. It's only one thing, really. A couple things they only talking about in the news this week. And you see the agenda they're trying to push. That shows you there's an agenda that's going on. You only seeing one thing everywhere. No matter where you go, it's that news is like 90% that type of news. So we're gonna try to maneuver around it and see what we can talk about and try to figure it out today. But police stop law packages, they went out, so you should have already gotten an email or something saying that your package has been shipped. So just wait on it, and it's gonna be there within the next week. So appreciate y'all for supporting, and everybody else to continue to support. Please make sure you get over the realnagas.com. Make sure you get your great book of melanin research. This is how you can support Real Nagas. This is how you support me over here, because to do this, I got to do other things. I got to get some support in order to bring y'all this information. So you get the great book of melanin research, and then I will hook you guys up right here and give you the police stop law package for free, because I need you guys to know the law. That's it right there. I need it. Now, I don't want y'all to know the law. I need y'all to know the law, because what's getting ready to come down in the future, you're going to have to know the law to get past it. So no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Y'all going to have to get over here and get your knowledge. So great book of the Know Your Rights Manual, Public Official Bonds book. Then also you get the cards with it. constitutional rights card, qualified immunity notice, boom, all these. This is what you keep in your car. You hand to the police. I don't answer questions. Watch their face change when you hand them this, and then you assert your rights. They don't know what to do. They're left dumbfounded. Whoa, what is this? I've never seen this before. Oh my God, what's going on here? What? Oh, well, I'm just going to give you a warning this time. You understand? I'm just going to give you a warning. That's all. You have a nice day. So boom, make sure you get out there and get that. And then this week, I'm still extending the deal I gave you guys last week. So I'm still going to give you the 4 flashcards because I still got boxes on my floor in the kitchen. I was air frying some chicken and tripped over the goddamn box. Air frying some chicken. The air fryer is right behind the damn boxes of flashcards, and I tripped over the goddamn box and almost dropped my chicken out the air fryer, damn it. So y'all help me out and make sure we get these damn boxes off the floor. So I will give you, if you order the Great Book of Melanin Research, you get the whole Police Stop Law package plus the 4 decks of cards I'm gonna hook you up with. One Immaculate, appreciate you, brother. He says, is Ozempic healthy? I see a lot of celebs losing weight. I don't know. I never tried it. I've seen people promoting Ozempic. I haven't had any personal experience with it, so I couldn't tell you. But appreciate you, man, on the super chat. So again, make sure everybody get off to realnoggins.com. That's how you hook it up. Get the Real Noggins, the Great Book of Melanin Research, the hard copy, and you get all of that. And again, I'm extending the 4 cards this week because I almost tripped over my damn and dropped my chicken. So that's not going to happen again. So help me get these damn cards out of my floor. And then make sure you get over to knowyourrightsfoundation.org if you want to sign up to learn the law for free. Again, we're hooking it back up. We're starting back up next month. So we're accepting, enrollment right now. People, if you a lot of people have went over and filled out the application and hit us up. You've gotten a return email to go fill out the questionnaire. Okay, it's not a test or anything like that. It's just a questionnaire so we get to know you better, know what your motivations are. So if you've gotten that email from Know Your Rights Foundation, go fill out the questionnaire so then we can send you an interview time for next month, because before they all get locked up. We're not doing a bunch of interviews ongoing like we used to. We're going to do interviews for a certain amount of time, then cut it off, deal with those people, then open it back up. So we're going to do it in increments. All right, so no ongoing. So if you were sitting around, you were one of those people who sat on your ass and was procrastinating, like, I'll get into it later. Don't do that. Don't get caught out when we close that door. Don't be trying to squeeze in. Let me get it. Hold up, nigga. Let me know. And so this is the ultimate goal, what you're working for right here. We're going to get you this basic police stop law certification right here, so you can go out there and you can feel confident when these police officers pull you over. You know what you're talking about. You know how to smack them verbally, because we don't get violent with police because they got guns. But you can smack the shit out of them verbally. You can Mike Tyson their ass all day on the verbal side of the game, right here with that certification, right? Because most police officers don't know the law. They go to law school. They go to school, not even law school. They go to school for 6 weeks. Most police officers, they go to school for 6 weeks, then it's on-the-job training. So police officers don't know shit. So 1 month of Know Your Rights Foundation school, basic police stop law class, you'll be able to smash a police officer. That's just how it works. That's how we get down. So make sure you get over there again, knowyourrightsfoundation.org, sign up. If you want to learn the law for free, we are teaching you for free, but you have to be motivated. We will not motivate you. We're not going to call you, tell you what's happening. Are you ready? Did you come to class? We're not doing none of that. Sorry, we ain't doing none of that. We need motivated people. We need leaders right now. So if you're a leader and you got that type of mentality and you want to get over here and help everybody else to learn this, then get over here. We will teach you so that you can power up and go out and empower the rest of the community. All right, that's how we get down. So appreciate you, everybody. And then also the Cash App. Make sure everybody hit me on the Cash App. Appreciate that too. That's Cash App at Real Noggins. Real Noggins 9 on the Cash App. And that's the number 9. Appreciate you. And Patreon, for the people who are signing up for the Patreon classes. We're going to talk about a little bit about status today. So if you want to learn about how to change your status, because you're really going to need that in the future, make sure you get over to patreon.com/realnoggins and sign up for the status class levels or any of the police stop law class levels. You can get at one of those because we do a law class every Sunday. It's a bunch of people in there, close to 100 people. We clowning, we're having fun, but we're also learning the law. The classes go long because a lot of people asking all them damn questions. It ain't me. I'm not talking for that long. It's because people are always asking damn questions. Everybody got to ask a goddamn question on every goddamn video. Every time I ask them, put your hand down. So, but no, just kidding. Questions are allowed. Questions are welcome. That's how we get down in class. You're never going to learn unless you ask questions. So make sure you get over there and hook it up so we can teach you the law. All right. Oh, last thing, Timmy Tight Top. Make sure you hook up the weed juice at Timmy Tight Top. It's hot as hell, so I'm about to get in this in a minute. But this is the strawberry lemonade. That's strawberry, apple, pear, and lemon. And then this one right here. This is the other good one. It's the lemon. This is the sweet lemon with pear, celery, and lemon. Bam, right here. He has all the other juices for you at weedjuice.com. That's OUIjuice.com. Make sure you hit the 5 off juice. Make sure you get the discount. So he hook you up. Let them know that you came from real niggas. And then right here, make sure if you want to get on the weight loss program or the detox program, he has all of those things, or anti-inflammatories. If your body's feeling, your joints are all messed up, your knees, your shoulders, all that, you're feeling a little achy like that, get the anti-inflammatories, he'll hook you up. So right there, we live, we love, we juice. See, I got you, Timmy Tight Top. All right, everybody. So it's a little day. It's a little somber day for me today, y'all. So a little somber, if we think about when people pass. So my uncle just passed yesterday. My Uncle Tommy. My Uncle Thomas Barringer, Dr. Thomas Barringer. I want to give a shout out to my Uncle Dr. Thomas Barringer. Call him Uncle Tommy. That was my dog. He was my pops. He was my pop's brother. And he was one of those good cats. You talk about cats who are just purely good, like just good people. Like that's my Uncle Tommy. I never seen Uncle Tommy get mad. I never ever seen Uncle Tommy get mad. The whole time I known him, all my years, I never seen him get mad. Dude was just a pure loving dude. He was a preacher, a pastor. Appreciate you, Vanessa K. Thank you for the cash app. But he was a preacher, but he was more than that. He was into knowledge. And so the main reason I'm giving him a shout out, because I love him. That's my dog, and I appreciate you, Uncle Tommy, for what you did. And let everybody else know that it's because of Uncle Tommy that you have to thank for me. Because if it wasn't for Uncle Tommy, I would not be doing these videos in front of y'all right now. Roger Rose, appreciate you, brother. Thank you, man. We celebrate when the spirits we move on to higher consciousness. I'm gonna miss him for sure. That's my dog, man. He was a really good dude, man. Like he was a really good person, like just purely good. But Uncle Tommy, if it wasn't for Uncle Tommy, y'all wouldn't have me. I'm gonna tell you the story about how Kev got on the consciousness. So I was super Christian. I've told this story a little bit before. So I was super Christian. I was living with my aunt at the time, and she passed away. And just me and her. My aunt, she passed away. And so when she passed, this was back in, I ain't gonna tell you the year. Y'all don't need to know how old I am. But it was a little while back. But she passed away, and so I went to Jersey because I lived in the same house. I didn't want to be in the house, with her, without her in there. It was kind of creepy too. It was a big ass house. So I went to Jersey for a little bit, just to get away. And when I went to Jersey, stay with my family in Woodbury, New Jersey. Shout out to Woodbury, New Jersey. That is the ancient lands of the Lenape. If you know, Lenape used to live in Woodbury, New Jersey. That's part of the land. But so I went back there, and while I was staying with my aunt, so I got to give you some background. Before I left, I had a homeboy who was a Mason, right? I had a homeboy who I used to he was my ex-roommate, and he used to talk about Masonry a lot, Freemasonry. I didn't know what that shit was. I was Christian. I ain't know nothing about Freemasonry. So one day he used to talk about it every now and then. I said, well, what is a Mason? He said, well, you got to ride the donkey to the east. He used to tell me, oh, you got to ride the donkey to the east, and I gotta do all this ritual stuff. Like, nigga, I ain't doing all of that. That's some crazy shit. Like, nigga, you crazy. But then he told me something one day the day before I left. He laid out. We went to the store to get some food, and while we were in the car before we went into the store, he started talking Mason stuff again, and he laid out money on the dashboard, and he put the coins, and he put these coins all on the dashboard, and he said, you know, he put the quarter, the nickel, the dime, and then the penny, and he said, "What do you see?" And I said, and I was like, "Nigga, it's change." Like, nigga, you got change on the dashboard, nigga. What I'm supposed to see. This is before I was into anything conscious, right? So he says, you don't see how Abraham Lincoln on the penny, how Abraham Lincoln is facing the opposite direction. And I was like, oh yeah, he is facing the opposite direction. And so he's like, well, he said, you don't know why that is? You never noticed that? I was like, nah. He said, because the other presidents turned their back on Abraham Lincoln for freeing the slaves. And that right there, that blew my mind. I was like, oh, nigga, that's crazy. What? I'm like, oh, shit, nigga. It's like, this is what Freemasonry's about, nigga? I was like, oh, shit. So that little shit blew my mind right there, right? I was like, what? They made the money specifically like this because they turned their back on Abraham Lincoln for freeing the slaves. So that was in my mind, right there. So I take a trip. The next day, I go to Jersey. This is where all my father's side of the family lives in Jersey, right? So, and they're all like super scholarly, doctors and, you know, councilmen and all that type of stuff. So they're really high level knowledge people. So I go back there, and while I'm staying with my aunt, I go to the store to get a hoagie. The only place you can get a hoagie, really, a real hoagie, is on the East Coast, goddammit. These fake ass places on the West Coast, these ain't hoagies. A real hoagie place is a little side store on the East Coast, so you can just walk in there, grab you a bag of potato chips, and walk to the back, get you a nice little hoagie. So, yo, Margaret Landrum, thank you, appreciate you. Thank y'all, man. So I go in there, I get a hoagie, and next door to the hoagie store was a bookstore. It was an African bookstore. So in the window was a book called by Ralph Emerson, I think. By Ralph Epperson? I think it's Emerson or Epperson. But it was The New World Order. It was a book called The New World Order. And it was by Ralph Emerson. And it had the pyramid that's on the back of the dollar bill on there. And so I was like, oh, snap. I thought it was, you know, because I just learned this symbolism about money, right? I'm on that now. So I see the book with the dollar, with the symbol on it in the back. And so I'm like, I need to buy that book. Yo, Transcendental, thank you, brother. I appreciate the condolences, bro. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, man, he was a good dude, man. So I'm looking at this, so I'm like, all right, the store wasn't open. So I have the hoagie in my bag, and I was like, all right, well, I can go home, or I can wait for the store to open. It was snowing too. It started to snow. I waited in the snow for about 30 minutes for this dude to get there and open the store. That's how something was just telling me I needed to get this book, right? So I go in there, and brother opened the store. He's the only dude there, me and him. He's talking. The brother from New York who came down and opened up a bookstore in Woodbury, New Jersey. Cool brother too. So he's going through there. Remember, I'm not conscious at all. I'm super Christian. I'm on my Christian shit at this point. And so I'm just now learning. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just looking for books. So I brought that book up. He said, well, you into that book? So he took me around. He showed me some other books, you know, Miseducation of the Negro and Stolen Legacy and all that stuff, right? So he hooked me up with a bunch of books. So I took these books home, and when I get home to my aunt, she looked at my book. She's like, what took you so long? I was like, oh, I went to this bookstore next to the hoagie shop and got this book, right? And so I showed her the New World Order book. She's like, what are you doing with that book? I was like, damn. Like, I don't know. I'm just looking. I think it tells you about the symbolism of the money that's on the back of the money. She was like, she's like, you need to call your Uncle Tommy. I was like, and he was a preacher at this time. So I'm thinking, what the fuck? What does Uncle Tommy know about the symbolism on money? So She's like, no, you need to call Uncle Tommy. Uncle Tommy, he deals with this type of stuff before you read that book. Just make sure you call Uncle Tommy. So I called Uncle Tommy, and I was like, yo, I just bought this book. And he was like, all right, well, when do you leave? He said, before you leave, I'm going to come pick you up. You're going to stay at my house, and then I'm going to take you to the airport the next day, but I'm going to talk to you about that book. So that happened, right? He comes pick me up. We go to his house, and he's like, yo, he's like, come here. So he take me to the bedroom. He's like, yo, come here. I want to show you something. So he went under the bed, and I was like, what the hell is this nigga doing? And so he goes under the bed, and he pulls out a briefcase, one of those metal briefcases you seen in movies. You ever seen those movies where they pack the money in the metal briefcase? He had one of those real metal briefcases under his bed. And I'm like, what the hell is this nigga doing with a metal briefcase under his bed? And he cracked it open, and it had a bunch of videos in there. Had a bunch of videos about Masons and stuff like that, New World Order, and I was like, what the heck is all what? I didn't know any of that shit, but he popped in a tape of a dude named Jack Van Imp. I don't know if y'all know Jack Van Imp. He's back in the day. Yo, Travis Bailey, thank you, brother. He said, what's up? He says, any way of getting up with your team needs some legal advice as I'm trying to pursue complaint against my employer for discrimination. You can hit knowyourrightsfoundation.org. Necessarily though, we need you to take the class. We got to give a disclaimer. We can't give legal advice because we can't give you legal advice. However, we can educate you on legal principles that may help you. So yeah, get knowyourrightsfoundation.org. Just hit us up. Yo, Brandon Terry, appreciate you. Thank you, man. So I get in there, right? And he cracks this book open. He cracks this briefcase open, and he pulls out these videotapes of Jack Van Imp. He was a preacher. Jack Van Imp was a preacher back in the day. Crazy televangelist. Used to be on the off channels. Crazy. Jack Van Imp. If you've ever seen Jack Van Imp, Jack Van Imp was crazy as hell. Did anybody know? Say Jack came on late at night. Yep. DJ Sherman. Jack came on late at night. Him and his wife. Jack Van Imp was crazy. He was kind of like what was it? The Bakers. What was it? Jim and Tammy Faye. He was kind of like that, but just way on the lower scale. But he would be talking about Freemasons and the devil and the Freemasons are Satan worshipers, and I mean he was going off. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what is going on? Like, and the world is ruled by Satan worshipers, and boom, you need to get right with God because the Freemasons, they all worship Satan, and you start going through all this, that I was just, holy shit. So I was tripping. I was like, God damn. But I was tripping that my Uncle Tommy, because this had nothing to do with Christianity, really. I guess other than the fact that they were saying that they were devil worshipers, and so you needed to get right with God to be able to battle the Freemasons. So I'm going through this stuff. He scared the shit out of me. Uncle Tommy, damn it. Uncle Tommy scared the shit out of me. So he showed me all these, and he popped in another video, and then he popped in a video of Anthony Hilder. Did anybody know about Anthony Hilder? Anthony Hilder is back in the day. That's the father of the godfather, the grandfather of conspiracy theories. Is Anthony Hilder. He was the first to start bringing this shit out. So he popped in Anthony Hilder and all that. I'm like, damn, this is right before I'm about to get on the plane the next morning, y'all. I'm about to get on the plane the next morning. This nigga tell me the world is run by devil worshipers, and you know, you got to get right with God because the whole shit ain't nothing. I'm like, whoa. So I go home and I'm scared as shit. I'm scared as hell, right? And so this is crazy it's crazy how life happens, right? So he was telling me, you know, he was real Christian and I'm in Christian. So he's like, you better get right with God. And, you know, before you got to get rooted in God before you deal with this stuff, because this stuff will make you crazy and all that. I'm like, man, I'm scared of shit already. You know, scared the shit out of me. Devil worshipers run the world, right? So I get home, I'm stressed out. I'm stressed the fuck out because Uncle Tommy just pulled out a goddamn secret briefcase, with a CIA briefcase with with Jack Van Imp and all kind of shit in it, and scared the shit out of me. So I called up the homie, this girl I knew, she sold bud. And so I was like, yo, I need to get some bud real quick. I need to calm my nerves. I need to get some weed. So she was like, yeah, come on over, we can get some bud. So I would go over there, and it's funny because, shout out to Dion. When I used to go over there, Dion used to go to a class that my homeboy Zoe used to teach. And so she would have books from this class, and I would go over there, and when I'd be waiting on the bud man to come through, I'd be looking at these books. And so when I was reading these books, it was crazy because these books was on spirituality and history and ancient Kemetan stuff. So it was our spiritual knowledge, Kemetan knowledge, information that she had. And so I brought the New World Order book over to her house, and she said, "What's that?" And so I was like, "Well, you want to exchange books?" And I hadn't even read the book yet, y'all. I hadn't even read that book. Uncle Tommy scared the shit out of me so much, I hadn't even read the book. So I just bought the book over, and I just wanted to show her. I give her the book. She gives me the book she had from Zoe's class. This is crazy how shit work out. So I take those books home. I didn't know Zoe at the time, right? So I just had these books. So I go home and I'm reading these books, right? And so these books are on my scale, breaking down history and knowledge and the etymology of words and all kind of shit, just killing it. I'm like, oh shit, this is my shit, right? This is what I really wanted. She reads that book, the New World Order, because it's on some Christian-y devil worship shit. It scared the shit out of her and drove her crazy for a little bit. It's crazy how the universe works out. She read that book and it drove her nuts for a little bit. She went crazy with fear, thinking that it was crazy. I read those books, and then I start working out at a gym, and the dude at the gym, this trainer at the gym, he used to, he was a real cool cat. And one day I started talking about aliens. And so he was like, aliens? He was like, oh shit, this is in the gym. We start talking about aliens in the gym. The homie Jamal, he goes to his locker. He pulls out a book about aliens and shit. And it was written by the same guy. It was one of the same books that was in the class that the girl had from Zoe's class. I was like, oh shit, this is one of the same books. So just turns out that this dude knew my friend who sold the weed. Didn't know it. Just crazy how the universe works out. He knew my friend because they'd go to the same class where they go to the same thing with Zoe. So that's how I met Zoe. Then finally, he invites me to the class. I go meet Zoe, and then boom, known Zoe for 30 years since then. But if it wasn't for my Uncle Tommy scaring the shit out of me and telling me about Freemasons and all that, I would have never jumped onto that, because again, that flooded my whole goddamn shit. And then I jumped on consciousness. Luckily, I didn't let it scare me into Christianity, far deeper into Christianity. It moved me into consciousness, which again, logic, consciousness over fear will win every time. So I just want to give a shout out again to my Uncle Tommy. Without you, I would not be here sharing this information with the people. So peaceful journey, Uncle Tommy. I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. And I will see you again one of these days. And say what's up to my pops for me, man. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. So let's get into it. WW3 is kicking up, apparently. They kicking up. World War III is mashing out, and they're trying to act like it's not going to happen. So they need this World War III. They need to bring this shit about in order to bring about the one world government. Excuse me, that's the plan. World War III, one world government. Force us into, we need each other. We should not be fighting. We all need to come together, and we should not be fighting. We need to find a solution, come together, live civilly, blah, 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 blah. All the bullshit rhetoric that they're going to pull after so many people die. Like now, if you've been seeing all the Palestinians that's been dying, they said like 700 children alone have been killed in Palestine, which is crazy. 700 children alone. So the Hamas killed 1,000 people or 1,200 people. in Israel, right? That's including women and children, 1,200 people. This is what they know of. They're still pulling bodies out because they're still bombing. So children are still dying every day. So up to this point, over 700 children already have been killed in Palestine, right? So Biden is sending 2,000 Marines over to Israel, to the Israeli waters. Now, we're not supposed to be at war, right? That's what I thought. 4,000 Palestinians altogether. That's Noble Imhotep. Just dropped that. He says 4,000. Now, I haven't checked that, but I trust you. 4,000 Palestinians. But I know the children. I know the children were in the 700s last time when I checked a couple days ago. So, again, we're not supposed to be at war. Not with Russia. Not with Palestine or Hamas. But we about to fund both of them and send troops. Now, he said we're not supposed to send troops anywhere, right? Into these conflicts. Especially without Congress declaring war. We're not supposed to send troops into any damn war zone without Congress declaring war. That's how that shit works. As far as the Constitution. It's supposed to. Right? But Biden, he don't believe in that. He's sending 2,000 to Israeli waters. Then he headed to Israel. And he's supposed to be going over to Israel, right? To meet with him. Then some bombing happened or whatever that kind of deterred him from going over there. Or delayed where he was supposed to go over there. So, I think they trying to sacrifice your boy, Biden. On the real. They trying to sacrifice that nigga. Why would you send the president of the United States into a hot war zone? And announce it. You announced when he's going. Hey guys, if anybody wants to take out the president, his itinerary is at 7:34 p.m. He'll be flying right over Jordan. Then at 8:27, you just giving this nigga a whole itinerary. At 9:30, that's when we gonna bring him a chicken dinner on the plane. So then he may be distracted. You may get a good shot at him then. Like what the fuck? You can't be telling when the goddamn president is on the move into a war zone. That's stupid. Conrad Allwood, thank you, brother. Appreciate you too. What kind of sense does that make? What kind of military sense does that make? That you tell him when a president is going into a live war zone. That's just the dumbest shit ever. No one will be doing that. So, but everybody else also thinks that they're trying to sacrifice your boy Biden. Allegedly. You gotta say allegedly. I don't know. But again, I'm gonna go back to this. I keep telling y'all, because his presidency is not over yet. However, every president who has been elected during a great conjunction, talked about this, the great conjunction that just happened in 2020, that, we have a great conjunction every 20 years, but this was the super great conjunction when we had the triple, the 3 planets at 0 point all at the same time. So this is the great conjunction. It hadn't happened in 2,000 years. So, but a president who gets elected and during every conjunction gets taken out the game. Every president who has been elected during a great conjunction has been taken out, except for, who was that? Except for Bush, and who was the other president? Reagan. Except for Bush and Reagan. They're the only two who didn't get taken out. However, Reagan did get shot. Reagan did get shot. And somebody did try to take out Bush. I don't know if y'all remember that. Somebody tried to shoot Bush, but the gun didn't work. Do y'all remember that shit? Something happened. This nigga, he pulled out a gun. He tried to shoot Bush, but the gun didn't work. The gun wouldn't shoot, wouldn't fire. So lucky him and Reagan are the only two to escape getting taken out during during a great conjunction, or the presidents who have been elected during a great conjunction that haven't been taken out. However, there were attempts on their life. So, will Biden be the first president to escape all of that in the history of America? Like, this is in the history of America, y'all. This is not like in the last 40 years and the last 100 years. This is during the history of America. Every president who's been elected during a great conjunction has been taken out in some type of way. They not necessarily assassinated. They either just croaked, or they were taken out. So Biden like you start tapping you like, is this motherfucker working? Hey, watchman. My shit ain't. Why is Biden still around here, my nigga? So, just saying, ain't wishing it on him. Not wishing it on him at all. However, if we looking at the charts, we looking at the damn charts, it says, hey, Biden, just saying, baby. So, then you see the billionaires. Did you see the billionaires that came out? And the billionaires are defunding Ivy League schools. Yo, Sam Stone, thank you, brother. And they tried to take Bush Jr. out with that shoe. Yep. Yep, they tried to take Bush. He thought he was going, if that shoe hit him, it was going to take him out. That nigga had great reflexes, didn't he? Like, whoop. That nigga threw that shoe and like, wow. That nigga Bush was boxing. That nigga had his bob and weave going, didn't he? But that's hilarious. But first of all, on Biden, them trying to take him out. Did y'all see now they got the check? They got the check. So even if they don't, if they don't croak him, they found the check. Yo, Transcendental, thank you, brother. This is every single president in 20-year intervals. Yep, since 1860. Yep. That's when the conjunction happens every 20 years. So they've been taking out the game. So I'm just saying, Biden, the pattern is already there. I'm just reading the tea leaves, my nigga. So, but Biden Jr., no, not Biden Jr. So Biden's brother, did you see the check? So there was a company, they got specific evidence now on this nigga of money laundering. A company wrote a $200,000 check to Biden's brother, James Biden. Then James Biden on that same day, like, nigga, you couldn't wait a week? You dumbass nigga. So the same day, he gets $200,000 from this business company. He gives $200,000 to Biden, to Daddy Biden, right? And then on the check, though, because he getting his $200,000 check, then at the bottom of the check, in different handwriting, which is probably Daddy Biden, he wrote for loan repayment. He wrote loan repayment at the bottom on the check. After he got the check, he like, nigga, you forgot to fill out the, hold up, nigga, that damn, nigga. Loan repayment. God damn, I gotta do everything my damn self around this bitch. They found the check. So that's not necessarily the smoking gun, because it didn't go from the company to Biden, but company, Biden brother, Biden, all same day. Just funneled right through there. Okay. They trying to take that boy out. Because that news wouldn't see the light of day if they were trying to keep him in office. So I definitely believe they're trying to take him out in some way or another. Either character assassination, because that's what they do to you now, character assassination, or nigga, you better check the gas tank on all your plane rides, Biden. Nigga, I'd make sure I talk to the pilot before I go. Hey, nigga, the plane is the tank full? You sure, nigga? Let me see. Go take me to the tank. Show it to me. Nigga, I'm not hopping on a plane. Hey, nigga, do the controls work? Let me see. Take me there. We're gonna do a plane test with me on the plane. If I'm Biden, nigga, everywhere I go, nigga, I need to see for myself. Fuck that. So they're ramping this shit up. They're separating. They're causing a divide, the Great Divide, which is gonna eventually make you want to come together because you're gonna be, you know, it's gonna build up to an extreme. The separation is gonna build up to an extreme to where everybody's gonna have to come together under something at one point. But we're nowhere near that yet. So, because billionaires are defunding the Ivy League schools, because the Ivy League schools, the students, are for Palestine. They walking around marching for Palestine. Nigga, Palestine, nigga, fuck Israel, nigga. That's what they walking around, fuck Israel, cuz. So, they ain't trying to hear that. Nobody, they not trying to hear it. So they call it the woke left. Now, the woke, so you got people on the left who support Israel, and then you got the woke young generation Z. So this is where they divided. The old Democrat, the old left, and the young left. It's like this. The old left, who goes with the status quo, they're like, nigga, we got to keep kissing Israel's ass, nigga. We got to massage the balls. We got to motherfucking massage his ass. We got to do everything, nigga. Rub his shoulders. We got to do all of that to Israel, man. Israel is the big dog. That's these Democrats. And the younger left is like, fuck Israel. Israel's a piece of shit. Boom, boom, boom. They're genocide, they commit genocide among all this shit, right? So the billionaires who fund these Ivy League schools, which are mostly Khazars, because Khazars are the biggest benefactors of everything because that's their way of control. So the Khazars are the biggest funders, the biggest donors to these Ivy League schools. So they start pulling their money. They said, fuck Harvard, nigga. They pulled $600 million from Harvard, which ain't gonna do shit to Harvard because Harvard got like $6 billion in reserve in their whatever that thing is, their endowment. They got $6 billion, so they ain't really gonna hurt them. That's only like 10% of their money. But all these other schools is getting defunded because the young ones are supporting Palestine. Now, are they right to support Palestine? So again, you got to go back and do the thing of Hamas versus Palestine. Palestinians are the civilians. Hamas is the military group. What Hamas did was jacked up. That's the fuckery. Nobody has a right to just roll in and kill, innocent people, civilians. Keep that shit military. If we're arguing, if we're fighting, don't bring the civilians in. That's the whole point. That's why they're civilians. They don't enter the fight. Yo, Charlie J, thank you, brother. Appreciate the cash out, man. Thank you. So that's an unwritten rule, and sometimes a written rule. Actually, really a written rule. In war, civilians are off limits. Unless, they're casualties. They can be casualties, but you don't deliberately go after civilians. That's not a thing. So, excuse me. So that's what, that's why they're shitting on Israel right now, because Israel is trying to commit genocide. They're committing what they call it is, so they call it something called mowing the grass. They call it mowing. It's called mowing the grass. And I want to make sure I get this shit down right. So Palestine. So we talk about Palestine and Hamas, right? So remember, Hamas was a small group over in Palestine that Israel or the Khazars decided to fund because they wanted to build up these two factions. You had the PLO and you had Hamas. So the PLO is the Palestinian Liberation Organization, and then you had Hamas. Hamas was a smaller group. Israel comes over and funds Hamas because they wanted to cause dissension between the two and said, all right, if we make them bigger than PLO, but we control them, then we can deal with it. He was really actually willing to deal with casualty losses. He factored in innocent losses, like, terrorist attacks. He's like, all right, if we build them up and we put them over there, they're going to attack us every now and then or whatever. We're going to have to deal with those type of losses. Excuse me. But he factored that in. So he was willing to kill innocent people already. Excuse me, right off the bat, and able to say that he has a control over, Gaza. He has a type of control over Gaza, which is crazy because when you, Brian Richards, thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man. So when you go back and you do the history of how they got over there, and you say, well, there's no reason there's no reason for the Palestinians to do what they did. All right. That is a perception for sure. But if you go back and do the history, so in 1948, when Israel went over there, we talked about this last week, how they're de facto state. But how did they get that de facto state? When they went over there, all of those Palestinians who was over there, it was like a bunch of 247 different sects, like tribes, like little settlements over there, like 247 different settlements. They went and wiped all of them out. Israel did. Killed tens of thousands of people. That's what happened. After that Balfour Agreement, we talked about the Balfour Agreement where British, they promised to give them pieces of Palestine if they help get America, the Balfour Agreement, where they promised to help get America into the war against Germany if they gave them, and this is not British, British didn't promise, but so the Rothschilds promised to get America in the war against Germany if Britain gave secured land for the Israelis, right, for the Jewish people, right, and that was part of Palestine. So they went in there and they wiped out tens of thousands of people in Palestine, and then they took the rest of the people that they off those lands and picked them up and moved them to that little hub, the Gaza Strip, and then put a big ass wall, put a big ass Trump wall around goddamn Gaza. And they can't leave. And they get limited water. They get barely any water, no food, barely any electricity. So this is crazy shit. And so you like, well, these niggas, obviously you're going to build up some damn animosity towards people if you did that, if that's your history. And then they commit something again called mowing the grass, right? So mowing the grass is them dropping bombs periodically throughout the year in what they call strategic places where they're taking out children. But they say, well, this is where Hamas bases are, secret Hamas bases are, but so we can't confirm, necessarily. So they just hit those spots, allegedly. You got to say that. So they hit those spots allegedly, and they call it mowing the grass. This is real. Go type up mowing the grass. Israel, Palestine, mowing the grass. And this is them dropping bombs, taking out the young people. Because they don't want the youth growing up. So they take out young people periodically throughout the year. Thousands of people are getting taken out throughout the year by Israel every year in Palestine. Of course these niggas gonna be mad at some goddamn point. What the fuck? If you just killing thousands of people every goddamn year, and you're talking about, and you're you're basically making it seem like it's just business. This is what we have to do as business. So all the people who are for Palestine, they know this whole history. They know this whole history. But then you get the you get the Khazar people who will come in and say, no. We were there. We just recently retook Israel. That was our land 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years ago, we had the land. Yo, Atomic Dog, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Atomic dope. Shout out to George Clinton. But they know the history again. So Israel say, "Oh no, we were there 3,000 years ago." No, you weren't. No, you weren't. That was these people. That was the super dark skinned, melanated Moorish people who were in that land first. It wasn't. They are with the bull crap. The Khazars, again, how the Khazars get there is because Bulan Kagan, who was he's the Kagan for the Khazar for Khazaria. He basically, again, when he was getting mashed on by Christianity and Islam, they both came to mash on him and said, "Whose side you got?" And so he was like, "Yo, do either one of y'all got a problem with Judaism?" And they was like, "Nah." He was like, "Well, we Jews." That nigga said, we Jews then. I mean, you got a problem with Jews? No? All right, you got a problem with Jews? No? All right, well then we Jews. So that's what he did. Bulan Kagan. Yep, King Bulan. Bulan Kagan. So he the one that he flipped the script and changed them all into Jews, right? So that they wouldn't be smashed on because they was about business, right? Remember, Khazaria was the biggest trade hub back then because it had ports, 4 ports that came in. You had ports that came in from 4 different directions. So everybody came to Khazaria to trade. And so they wanted to keep the trade going. So that meant we got to be neutral, right? I can't choose. It's the same thing as today. If you in business, if you pick Christians, you're going to lose. If you pick Democrats, let's say, just put it in modern terms. If I'm a business person and then I say my business is Republican, I'm gonna lose all the Democrats. And then vice versa. If I say my business is Democrats, is leftist business, I'm gonna lose all the Republicans, right? Because you ain't supposed to do business. That's why Michael Jordan said Republicans wear sneakers too. That's why he wasn't political, because he didn't want to lose 50% of his customer base. That's how that shit worked. But so eventually you're gonna have to be on a side. Eventually you're supposed to be on the side, but not really. So the Bulan Kagan, he was like, we neutral, we trying to keep the peace, we trying to keep the commerce flowing through Khazaria. Then eventually the Kiev, the Russian, the Rus Kiev. So that's back in the day. They weren't Russian. They were called the Rus Kievs. And that's where you get the Ruski. You ever heard of the term Ruski? So that's because back in the day, before they became Russia, they were called the Rus Kievs. And so that the Rus Kievs kicked out the Khazarians. Boom, get the fuck out. And so they had to disperse and disband, and they went all over the world. And so this is why they had no homeland after they got kicked out of Khazaria. So now then, once they took up the mantle, they took up the title, or they usurped the Judaism persona. When they took it over, they said, "Oh, well, we need to go back to Israel then, because we the Jews, right? We the Jews. We the Jews." Okay, well, shit, we need to go back to Israel then, eh? Israel is ours. So once they took over the identity, then they said, "All right, we're gonna go capture the land." So that's what they did in 48. Wiped out 247 Arab villages. 247 Arab villages got taken out. And like I said, they removed the remaining people to the Gaza Strip and put a wall around them. So animosity, of course they got a gang of animosity. 247 Arab villages were taken out in order to create Israel. You think they forgot? They just forgot. Sorry, guys. Hey, guys. Sorry. Our bad. We know, man. Fuck, we were just tripping that day, man. I don't know. Somebody just mixed some Hennessy with some goddamn Alizé and, with a little, a little this or that. And we just bow. We just got a little fucked up, man. And we're tripping, bro. We were tripping. Sorry. And they think you're supposed to say, man, you know what, dog? I get it. I get a little fucked up sometime too, my nigga. Shit, hey, nigga, don't even worry about it, my nigga. Don't even worry about it. We all get fucked up sometime and kill tens of thousands of people. God damn, nigga, who ain't been there? Like, they just want them to do that. Just be like, hey, nigga, everybody kill tens of thousands of people sometime. Shit. Yo, One Universe, thank you. One Universe Soul. Everybody trip out every now and then. That's like America. They want you to forget the Native American shit. The Aboriginal. They came and wiped out all the Aboriginal. Hey, man, look here, brother. That was 200 years ago. 300, hey, nigga, goddamn. Y'all still tripping over that? 300 years later, 400, goddamn, man. When you gonna let that shit go? Nigga, what? You came and burned people out of villages through blankets with disease and shit on the villages. You got them, you corrupted them with alcohol and drugs. I mean, you did so much shit. You raped the women, stole the women, all this shit. But you supposed to just, niggas, the Aboriginals been supposed to forget. Hey, nigga, let bygones be bygones. It's all good, brother. You come and you give me, hey, my nigga, here's a turkey. Here's a turkey, brother. Just take the turkey and everything is good, ain't it? That's what Thanksgiving is for. Like, nigga, if you don't get your bitch ass out of here, nigga, trying to offer me a turkey because you fucking raped my damn ancestors. So, that's Israel. Not the Israeli people, necessarily. But the Israeli government is with the fuckery. You got to separate the two. The people in the governments they're not the same. 97% of the Israeli people hate their government. So you can't really trip on the Israeli people. They're over there marching to get them niggas taken out, which is why Netanyahu actually allowed this shit to happen, because he was getting ready to get taken out of office. They were getting ready to move him out of office. And he knows the only way that you can stay in office, usually, is with a war. So when Egypt called him and told him, not only Egypt, America also said they heard some things about something getting ready to happen. He ignored America and Egypt, telling him there was getting ready to be attacked. Why did he do that? Yo, One Immaculate, appreciate you. So is it wrong that melanated people shouldn't get involved with Gaza and Israel, or should we? No, you shouldn't get involved. They ain't got shit to do with you. They ain't got shit to do with you. They ain't got shit to do with you. Other than the fact that you can speak up for atrocities, absolutely. Because if atrocities are getting done to you, then you want to speak up. You want somebody to speak up about that as well. So yes, you can speak up about it, cause attention to it, but getting involved in their shit, that's that's a universal law. You get involved in somebody else's karma, then you put yourself in the way of that karma, no matter what it is. So just be careful before you put yourself in the place of somebody else's energy or in the way of somebody else's energy. So again, they're just not going to forget all of that stuff that happened, right? And so this is where the animosity comes from. And again, separating the people from the government. They keep saying, soon as you stop bombing, this is why he keeps bombing. Because the Israeli people told him, as soon as he stops bombing, he got to leave office. So if you were president and they told you, nigga, as soon as you stop bombing, we gonna get you the fuck out of here, nigga. What you gonna do? Nigga, you gonna have that damn button super glued to your hand. You gonna walk around with the goddamn missile button in your hand, super glued. Yo, every time that shit ain't gonna ever leave your hand. You gonna bomb every 3 seconds. You just launching like crazy, nigga. I ain't giving up nothing. If you tell me if I stop bombing, I'm gone, and then you gonna start fucking trying to persecute me for war atrocities and shit, nigga. Well, nigga, I ain't stopping bombing nothing. If you tell me that. So then, did you see the Israeli government were calling out celebrities and celebrity influencers? Telling you, this is going on. This is the holy war right now, the religious war. Not holy, but it's a religious war against the Khazars, or Judaism, they want you to believe, and Islam. This is the war they building up. You thought it was gonna be Christianity and Islam. No, it's Judaism. Now, this war against Jews and Muslims has been going on for a while. So back when they ran Khazarian, they had a couple of wars already. They had 2 wars against the Moors. The first time the Moors won, and then the second time the Khazars kicked them out. So they remember that. Actually, it was kind of like the first war. They didn't necessarily win. They got called back for some reason. I think they got called. The Moors got called back to their homeland, so that's why they kind of lost. They lost a lot of troops, and so the Khazars were able to beat them. And then the second time, the Khazars beat them. But this is the third war between the Khazars and the Moors. This is what we're seeing right now. This is the third. This is round 3 between the Khazars and the Moors. They won't tell you that history, though, about the Khazars and the Moors going through those battles in Khazaria. This is the third one. So this is popping off. Then, like I said, they're calling out the celebrities because they're trying to get everybody on their side. The ADL, the head of the ADL, he went on MSNBC and chastised them because they have 3 Muslim anchors who were just trying to give a balanced, a nuanced report on the whole thing. Just basically saying, yes, Hamas did a bad thing. We should vilify Hamas, but don't let it, let's not get them mixed up, the Palestinian civilians mixed up with Hamas. This is what they were saying. Just measured shit. Not, oh, we love Hamas. We love Hamas. They didn't say none of that shit. They were just saying, let's help the Palestinian civilians because they're being killed and bombed, but let's also persecute Hamas. They said that. This fool came on and shitted on that. I love this channel. But I have to question these anchors who are, this nigga went on the channel, shitted on the anchors. The next week, which is this week, MSNBC pulled those 3 goddamn Muslim, pulled them. They have their own shows. MSNBC pulled them from their show. Now, how much power is that? And we want to believe Kanye was full of shit when Kanye came out and said all of that stuff, but Kanye was with the bullshit, right? But the head of the ADL can go on MSNBC and say the reporting and tell MSNBC what to report. This is a goddamn news company. You ain't supposed to be able to go on there and on fucking camera tell them how they're reporting the news and then 3 days later get 3 anchors pulled who are Muslim, which means they should be able to speak their fucking voice, their ideas, their opinions on the war because they're part or they're Muslim. So they understand the Muslim perspective of the shit. Nigga, this is crazy. This shit is motherfucking crazy. Now you see who has the real power. You see who got the real power. So this is it. New proposed regulations in Israel. So they have new proposed regulations. So new proposed regulations in Israel would allow a communications minister to arrest civilians, remove them from their homes, or seize their property if he personally believes they have They have spread misinformation that could harm morale or serve as the basis for enemy propaganda. This is coming out of the Khazar. I like to call Israel. Israel is New Khazaria. That's what I call. That's what I like to call Israel. It's called New Khazaria. So, out of New Khazaria, they basically have regulations that would allow the communications minister to arrest civilians if they believe they're spreading misinformation that would harm. That would harm. Let's say that would harm. Let me get this correct. That would their home, seize their and then remove them from their home, seize their property if he believes they spread misinformation that would harm morale or serve as a basis for propaganda. So if you spreading information that would make so this is the thing when he says harm morale, what does that mean? If you're out here spreading the proper information that's making the other soldiers think and say, hey, should we be doing this shit? This is bullshit because I just saw this, boom, boom, boom. That makes the soldier rethinks his steps about the genocide that you want him to commit. Oh no, we can't have that. Nigga, no, nigga. Nigga, hey, shut the fuck up, nigga. Hey, ain't nobody told your bitch ass to speak up about. Hey, nigga, take your bitch ass over there on patrol. Go do something. Nigga, I don't need you to don't be saying nothing to my troops. My troops don't need to hear nothing you got to say. Hey, go put your ears in the. Go put your fingers in the troop ear. They gonna go around to all their troops. This is what they want. They want to do this because they don't want their troops to hear the truth about what's popping. So that's what that means to me. When they say information that can harm morale, it means information that's gonna make the goddamn soldier be like, "That's some bullshit, huh? Man, fuck these niggas." So then. Then the EU, including France and Germany, is banning protests for Palestinian civilians. The EU is banning protests for Palestinian civilians. You can't ride for the Palestinian civilians. Not Hamas. The civilians, the babies, the women, and children. You cannot hold protests in the EU, especially France. We say France and Germany specifically, they name for the Palestinian civilians. Now you think that's why I try to tell you, man, y'all be shitting on America, but America is still the freest country in the world. They can't tell you not to protest in America. What they can do, they can bully you into not protesting by trying to cancel you, taking away your jobs and all that type of bullshit, which is what they're doing to people. They're canceling people's jobs and stuff like that for speaking out against Palestine or speaking out for Palestine. But right now, in the EU, you can't protest for any Palestinian civilians. And then Biden administration just said, hey guys, we're not going to bring back the draft. I promise. I just want to make this announcement. I just want to shout from the rooftops that we're absolutely not bringing back the draft. You believe me? like, nigga, wait a minute, huh? What the fuck? Wait a minute. Why, if you're not bringing back the draft, why do you got to announce it from the rooftop with a goddamn bullhorn? Hey, everybody, I am absolutely not bringing back the draft. Which means you about to bring back the draft. That's what that means. That's what that means. Yo, my moderators, if somebody in here putting up some foul stuff, make sure y'all watching out for trolls and stuff like that, because we don't get shut down. So I don't know what the Arabic is, So make sure y'all check that. I see somebody putting up some Arabic stuff. I don't know what that is. So I don't know if YouTube, make sure y'all tap that out right there. Yo, my moderators, this YouTube person right here. Because I said so. This Arabic person right here, make sure y'all click that out. All I see is Arabic writing. I don't know what that is, and I ain't trying to get canceled. So, and he's just going off, putting shit back to back to back. So, moderators, click that out. Oh, this is, okay. I know it's Arabic, but I don't know what it's saying. And YouTube, if the YouTube algorithm, again, YouTube watches my shit. So if you putting in something out in Arabic that could get a strike, YouTube algorithm will see that shit. So I'm just being careful, because if I don't know what it says, I just need you to make sure you know what it's you know, say it in English. Appreciate you though. So like I said, they're bringing back the draft. No, I don't know Arabic. I don't know Arabic. So women, they're about to draft women. Women are now eligible for the draft. Now, they said they're absolutely not going to draft everybody, but in the process of telling everybody that they're not going to implement a draft, for sure, they wanted to let the women know that women are eligible for the draft. He says, yeah, they will blame Kevin. Yeah, they'll blame me for that shit. Don't put no crazy shit in there. But so women, they trying to bring women into the draft. Now, all the feminist shit is flying out of the window. And when they starting to ask women, do they want to be drafted? Do you want to go to war to fight? Damn, equality ain't so damn, inequality ain't so damn bad. All these women talking about putting me in the kitchen and giving me some on the TikToks. Have y'all seen TikToks about the women who don't want to go to draft? That shit is hilarious. All these women who's supposed to be feminists and shit, then they ask them to go to draft, and then the next shot is them women in the kitchen cooking, doing baking and shit. With their bonnets on and shit, nigga. Yeah, thought so. Goddamn it. You want to play that feminist shit? Yeah, all this. Yeah, we can do what a man can do and blah, 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 blah. Draft. Baby, what you want for dinner? You want some macaroni and cheese? You want me to spread that on there? Okay, I can spread the macaroni and cheese, make it real nice for you. Get that cornbread, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden, your ass turned into Aunt Jemima when they want you to go to war. You Aunt Jemima, Betty Crocker all of a sudden, goddammit. Wait a minute. Before, you don't cook for no man, right? What happened to that shit? I don't cook for no man. No man, they go cook for yourself. Hey, won't you go pick up one of them goddamn M16s? What? M what? Where's the store? I'll be right back. How many eggs you want? You wanted 4 eggs? Okay, 4 eggs. I'm gonna get you 4 eggs. I'm gonna get you that turkey bacon because I know you like the turkey bacon. I'm gonna hook you up. I'm gonna get that brioche bread. I ain't gonna get the bread, but I'm gonna get that brioche bread. She done turned into chef. She done turned into super chef like a motherfucker now. Them TikToks are funny as hell, man. Y'all should go watch those about the women going to the draft. That shit had me dying. Because they not going. Apparently, they say they not going. So, again, just make sure we keep an eye on this because they're trying to get us into World War III. Well, they done moved us into it without saying it. But until it's a full-fledged war, we still got a chance. We can speak up. And again, moving along to the next thing, it's a good thing that they haven't found a speaker yet, because the speaker, they can't give any money until they find a speaker, which is some great shit. They cannot give any money to Ukraine or Israel until they get a speaker. But Biden just goes and says, yo, I want another $100 billion. Wait a minute, what? You want another 100 billion? You want another 100 billion to give Ukraine and Israel? Israel don't even need our money. Israel's one of the richest goddamn countries in the world. They have nuclear weapons. Israel don't need our money. Israel got so much goddamn money. The reason people are saying they felt so they got attacked like this is because Israel built this super high-tech wall around Palestine with you know, sensors and cameras and all kind of crap. I mean, like fucking a sci-fi movie. That's how much money they got. So much money in drones and they got so much damn money, but we still give them $3 billion a year. Why do we give them $3 billion a year? That sounds like tribute to me. That sounds like tribute. Tribute when you gotta pay the Sultan back in the day when the Moor he rolled up on your ass like, bitch, where my money at, nigga? Don't make me have to slap the shit out of you. There it is. Oh, there's my jewels. All right, there we go. Now we're talking. Now, yeah, give me my jewel. I'm gonna need me a piece, one of them little virgins in the back too. You know, maybe 2 or 3 of them virgins in the back. Appreciate you, my nigga. That was the tribute for the Moor back in the day. It was cash and booty, which is why ass today, which booty back in the day was the cash, but which is why ass is considered booty today, because we would take the women. So that was considered part of the thing. So, but right now, we don't have to give them any money. We don't have to give them any money at this point because the Congress is shut down. And they're going through it right now. All the people, they voting this dude down and this dude is, I mean, it's crazy drama going on right now. But that's good because they're not used to this. They're used to the status quo going. They able to funnel money constantly. Boom, 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 boom. Money, 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 money. Over here, over here, over here. No money here for America, though, for the border. We got money for everybody else. Then they want to give $100 million. So he wants to give $100 billion and split it between Ukraine and Israel. Then he wants to take $100 million. Like, nigga, where the fuck is we getting on this goddamn money? When you ask for reparations or to fix house the homeless or to clean up the streets or to do any of that shit, they always hit you with, where are we gonna get the money, huh? Huh? Did you think about that? Mr. Smarty Ass? You want all of these things to happen, but where does that money come from? You didn't factor that in, did you? Because then we're gonna have to move money from here and we're gonna have to take money from these people. So won't you go back to the drawing board and come up with something that's more feasible that doesn't just involve you getting money? How about that? That's what they'll tell you. This is what they tell niggas all the time when you come up with these goddamn, when you say, where's the reparations? They will come up with 100 million reasons why they don't have the money. But Ukraine, Israel, oh shit, nigga. Hold up, nigga. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Nigga, they got money coming from all over the place. Nigga, just hold up. Yeah. They rip it right out their butt. This is some bullshit. So, shout out to the Republicans for shutting down the government right now. I appreciate that. They didn't mean to. They didn't mean to. Yo, sorry. So yeah, they didn't mean to shut it down like this. They thought they was gonna get another dude in who was gonna shit up, who was not gonna be so friendly for paying out money, which is Jim Jordan. But they don't like Jim Jordan because Jim Jordan is a Trump dude, and he don't like Ukraine. But he's for Israel though, which is crazy. Because everybody got to be for Israel. If you ain't for Israel, then you can't be a politician, apparently. So, but Why is he for Israel and not for Ukraine? Again, does Israel secretly own America? I think we know the answer to that. We know the answer to that. You look at all the most powerful people, really, in Congress. Nancy Pelosi. It was Dianne Feinstein till she just died. Chuck Schumer. These people, Khazars. A lot of Khazars around there. But just saying. So America is, or they have to fund Israel. They don't have a choice. Which is why every single politician is worried right now. This is what's going on. Every politician want to get back to business so they can give money to Israel. which is crazy, because if they don't give money to Israel, then the Khazars will get them voted out of office. Now, excuse me. Since Biden is sending $100 million over to Palestine, what is Palestinians going to do with that $100 million? They're saying they're only sending it in aid, they're only sending it in trucks. Yeah, Nancy's Jewish. How you not know Nancy Pelosi was Jewish? You didn't know that? Heck yeah, she's Jewish. Damn, what I was about to say. Oh, so since Biden is sending $100 million over to no, not flip. Well, flip it. Okay, I see you, Christopher Perkins. He said flip it. Yeah, flip it, and then do what? Give that money to who? A lot of that $100 million is gonna go to who? We already know. Hamas. So Biden is gonna give money to Israel, who's gonna do what? Buy weapons and shit with it, right? He's gonna give $100 million to the Palestinians, who at some point it'll find its way over to Hamas at some point, which then they're gonna do what with it? Buy guns, weapons. So America is funding America's funding both sides of this shit. Took a page right out of the Rothschild book. That's the Rothschild, just so y'all know. That's a page right out of the Rothschild's book. Fund both sides of the war. You'll never lose. So that's what America's doing. Funding both sides of the war. Again, while our government, though, but it's good because our government is shut down. But then they said they wanted to pull George Bush, George W. They want to put George W. in as speaker. Isn't that crazy? Everybody hated this fool. Now they want to pull George W. They want to pull him back as the speaker. Yeah. This shit is getting crazy. This fool who sent us to war in the first place over the WMDs, they want to put him back as speaker. This motherfucker this nigga, first of all, he old as shit now. I think this nigga like 70 something. But they want to bring his ass back as speaker. W, the nigga who got us in the biggest damn bullshit of all time that we've been in. So it's going crazy right now. I can't say that I'm mad because no money is getting spent in Congress, and that's making the world pissed, which is great. They didn't expect this pill. See, this is what I'm saying. The world is not going the way they thought it was going to go. The one world order, all that shit, the way they really thought, it's not going the same. Usually the plan just runs off. It just goes without a hitch. But since this new energy happened, since this new energy came in, they cannot do the same things. They cannot do the same things. It is the matrix, the neo energy is happening right now, which is the poison pill of the project, the anomaly of the project, the thing that they can't account for, the algorithm in the the anomaly of the algorithm that they can't account for. That was in the Matrix. That was Neo. Because they had the algorithm all set, but there was some anomaly in the algorithm that happened every single time that they would create the Matrix. There was always an anomaly in the Matrix, in the system, in the algorithm, that would always mess it up because the universe balances. If you create something all to one side, the universe will automatically create its opposite. It has to. There's nothing. So unless you're balanced in the creation of a thing, the universe will have to balance out the creation itself. Just so you know, that's a jewel. That's a secret in creation. Whenever you create something, always make sure your creation is balanced. Otherwise, the universe will balance it out for you and create its opposite. So that's that's basically, that's basically what happened. And this is where we at right now. This is where we at right now. However, again, this is great because we can create what we want. In the chaos, in the void, again, the matrix also means the womb. The primordial void. That's what the matrix is. It's chaos, really. And out of chaos comes what? Order, which means you can fashion anything. In the womb, the baby is being fashioned into what it needs to be within the womb. So right now, as we're in a metaphoric womb of consciousness right now, we can create whatever we want. The universe, the world is turned on its ear right now. Nothing is the same as it was, especially before 2019. So we can create our new reality, but we have to get together to be able to do that. And then you have to get a clear vision of what you need to do and what you want in order to be able to do it as well. So let's get on board, people. Then one of the last things I want to talk about, because like I said, it's not a lot of news today, not a lot of news this week. And I had to give a shout out to my Uncle Tommy. Love you, Uncle Tommy. All these people here love you too, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be on here. I'd be out in the movies industry. That's what I was. I went to film school. I would be writing movies and directing movies right now if it wasn't for Uncle Tommy. I'll tell you that right now. So y'all better thank Uncle Tommy, damn it. But so moving along, another TikTok thing. Have you guys been seeing the TikTok thing? And also real quick, I put this book up last week. Some people said they were out of stock. This tells about the history of the Khazars. This is a real ill book. I told y'all about this last week. So they said it was on Amazon. I gave you ABE books to get this from last week. I guess it was like somebody told me this shit was a grip. So sorry, but so go on Amazon if the other people haven't bought it already. It was cheaper, but I think they might have bought it already. So if you can find it now, get this. On Amazon, ABE books. I guess they trying to rate, grape people on on Amazon. I mean ABE books. But this book right here, the history of, again right here, this is the history of the Khazars in the world. How they got power in the world. Has nothing to do with waters flowing eastward. That ain't got nothing to do. That's a crypto cover. So on TikTok, real quick, last thing, there's been something going around talking about something called the Snyder Act. Did you guys hear about that? The Snyder Act? So there's a couple of TikToks, people making videos talking about, on your birth certificate, they're wiping out, they're canceling out African American and Negro on your birth certificate, and you're able to claim Native American, and then apparently you get so much money per month or something, 11,000. Some niggas said you get $11,000 per month. Each nigga's owed a certain set of money, whatever the hell it was. What is it? This is all. This is all they books is 5,000 to 10,000. Oh no, you talking about something else. So I thought somebody had it in here. So basically, they said that you was gonna be getting like $11,000 a month or whatever, and this had to do with the Snyder Act, right? because there was something called the Indian Proclamation Day or Indian Appreciation Proclamation Day or some shit like that. What was it? Hold on, I think I may still have it on here. Hold up. It was called a Proclamation on Indigenous Peoples Day, right, by the government. This was called a Proclamation, and this happened, what, October 6th or 9th or whatever, right? So some people are talking about the signal on the 4th, the signal came out because that's when they gave us our land back. They said they gave us our land back. Oh yeah, that's what they said, 150,000 per year or some shit. Yeah. And so we secretly got our land back, which is why they hit us with the emergency system, the emergency signal. This is why y'all need to learn the goddamn law and government. Because dumb motherfuckers will look at one thing and take it and make a universe out of some shit, a dumb universe out of some dumb shit. So again, you piecing together stuff that you don't know anything about. You read 2 lines of something and then you think, oh, I got it. I know what that means. I know what that is. And you don't know anything. So Snyder Act of 1924 was basically called the Indian Citizenship Act. Excuse me, called the Indian Citizenship Act. And it was basically because after the Reconstruction, the 14th Amendment gave citizenship to sort of, quote, this is air quotes, citizenship to melanated people, what they call African Americans, Negroes, whatever, right? So, but it didn't, but Native Americans, what they call Native Americans, didn't have the same type of privileges. They got treated a certain way. Now, this is according to this American history. But in the real history, the reason the Aboriginals were treated like that is because they were free. Aboriginals weren't citizens. They weren't considered citizens because they were free. So if you take all y'all should have a constitution. So you open up, you go to, this is Article 1, Section 1, Clause 3. So this is a lot of people don't understand how, this is why you need to learn the law, because if you don't know how to read legalese, you can get caught up in words and not understand what something says. So it says, representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years. That means indentured servants. So they were saying indentured servants were classified as free persons. That's what that's saying right there. In order for the tax representation. So again, I'm gonna read this again. Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed. And then it says 3/5 of all other persons. So what does that mean? So when it says, again, you gotta read the line. So it says, excuse me, representatives, direct taxes shall be apportioned among the direct states which may be included within this union, right? So when it says Indians not taxed, that meant that Indians weren't considered free people within that citizen, because in that society, within the colonies, because they weren't taxed. But they were still free citizens. They were still free. They just weren't free. They weren't in the American government because they weren't taxed. Some people were. Some Indians did join the government and were taxed, but some weren't. So right there, these are Aboriginals were free. That's why it says Indians not taxed. You weren't paying tax. You weren't free. Now, what does it mean by 3/5 of all other persons? Basically, the 3/5 clause didn't mean that you were 3/5 of a person. All it meant was that the states, a lot of states who didn't have as many real citizens, and as far, what they call the big C citizen, they didn't have a lot of those. So what they did is they counted the slaves so that they could get votes. So they gathered up the slaves and counted them. When they say 3/5 of a person, all that means is they're considered people without voting rights. They're considered people for the purposes of representation. However, they just don't get any voting rights. So you understand what this stuff means, right? So the Snyder Act is basically an act to give Aboriginals citizenship into the U.S. government. Basically, give them what is called U.S. citizenship. Those who are born in the United States, or what they call in the U.S. jurisdiction, can have citizenship through the Snyder Act, right? So the Snyder Act is just the 14th Amendment. That's all it is. It doesn't give you anything. It gives you 14th Amendment citizenship, basically, because it makes you subject to the United States of America. If you understand, if you're Aboriginal, you're not subject to the United States of America. They got their land from you. However, when you come into someone else's government or corporation, if you become an employee in somebody else's corporation, then you have to abide by their policies. You don't get to tell them what their policies are. No matter if you had your own sovereign business, and then now you merged though with this company, and you didn't become the CEO in the merger, then you got to fucking follow by the rules. So that's what the Snyder Act, it didn't empower you to do anything. It just made Native Americans or Aboriginal citizens basically stripping their status, stripping their power. That's what it did. It stripped their sovereign power and then made them citizens, lowercase c, of the United States government, or the U.S. government, which is a 14th Amendment citizen, one who is subject to. Look up that term, subject to. That means you are. So what is your true Native American energy and power come from? No, I've shown y'all this many times. We're about to get into this. This is this is House Congressional Resolution. So I want to break some stuff down. So again, and I've talked about this maybe a couple weeks ago, the Northwest Ordinance of 1787 is how they started to dismantle you from the land as Aboriginals. So Northwest Ordinance basically was the colonies taking the Aboriginals from their land and moving them west of that land, right? What they called west, which is basically just the Midwest. So Northwest Ordinance, and this is where you got all the Aboriginal nations together to fight, right? And they were called the Northwest Confederacy, right? And then later on, they were the United Indian Nations. So why is Indian such an important name for you to use and not Native American? Why should you use the term Indian and not Native American? Because Indian legally means the Aboriginal inhabitants of North America. And the word Aboriginal, so legally means, so ab means father, right? So father original. However, the colloquial term means first in time. So you can be indigenous or native to a land. That means you're from the land. However, Aboriginal means you're first from the land. Got to get these terms proper. Father from the land. You fathered that land, or you're first from the land. All right. So during that Northwest Ordinance, right, from 1783 to 1795, we was in a major war. And I told y'all last week, it was the Cherokee, the Iroquois, Lenape, or the Delaware Native Americans, Aboriginals, the Miami, the Ottawa, the Ojibwe, the Potawatomi, Potawatomi. This is called the Potawatomi, the Shawnee, the Wabash Confederacy, and the Wyandots. So that was the United Indian Nations who fought off the Northwest Ordinance, which was the colonies coming in and raiding and taking off the land. Now, they left you on the land when they came and they asked you if you were willing to convert and assimilate to the colony. If you converted to Christianity, then they left you on the land. You didn't have to leave. They gave you a Christian name, and you were able to lay on the land. You became a part of the colony. If you wanted to keep your Aboriginal name, they moved you off the land, right? This is where a lot of these Trail of Tears and all that stuff tried to come from. But back, it first started with the Northwest Ordinance. So, excuse me. So then in 1790, so that was in 1787. So 3 years later, after it ended, in 1790, when they created the first census, then they reclassified you. If you were Christian, again, if you were Aboriginal, if you stayed on the land and you professed to Christianity, because they were missionaries in these Native American nations, in these Aboriginal nations, teaching them Christianity, right? For this whole time. This is what they do. They go as missionaries. They come in and you need to praise Jesus and praise Jesus. And Jesus says, share the land and share the food and share your women and share everything. Share, share, share. Give it to us all. Give it all. Give us all. And so they come in, they do that shit. Jesus says, give us it all. Give it all to us. You don't need anything in heaven. And so they come and they do that, and you like, oh wow, praise Jesus, yeah, Jesus. And you doing that shit, and they motherfucking telling you, you're a Christian now, right? Okay, what was your name? Chief White Eyes. Okay, now your name is Timmy. You're gonna be Timmy Bowden. Timmy Bowden. How does that sound? Doesn't that sound great? Timmy Bowden. I knew a Bowden. I knew some Bowdens back in where I'm from. They were good people. They were very good people. They invited me in for food. So you're just doing great as a Bowden. Like, wait a minute, nigga. Timmy what? Timmy and Bobby. Yeah, Timmy and Bobby and all these goddamn Caucasian names they came in and gave you if you declared you as a Christian. You couldn't keep your Aboriginal name, which is why it's hard for you to go back as Aboriginals now and find that you were your ancient history. That's why because you had to change your name when they made you change your name, right? So, but in the Dred Scott case, I'm talking about this a minute. Everybody in the Dred Scott case, you need to go read that, where Dred Scott or William Taney or Judge Taney, he says, when everybody shits on him, but he was actually trying to help Dred Scott in that case. If you understand legalese, you understand how to read law. It's really, you don't even need to understand how to read law. You just need to understand how to read, really, because you can read it just just verbatim, and he's saying it. But in the opinion from Judge Taney, he's telling Dred Scott, because basically what happened, Dred Scott, he was traveling with his owner, right? He had been traveling for about 3 years with his owner. They get to the northern states where the brothers is free, right? They get up there, and the brothers is like, you still a slave, my nigga? That's your master? Like, that nigga your master, God? He like, yeah, nigga. He like, nigga, we don't got slavery up here, nigga. We free. And Dred Scott was like, free? The fuck? Y'all niggas is free around this bitch? Oh, nigga, fuck that shit, nigga. So he started tripping, and he went and sued for his freedom, right? And he won. He actually won, and he was free for 2 years. Dred Scott was free for about 2 years, and then the owner was like, that nigga was sitting back at home, shoveling his own shit, like, nigga, what happened to that damn nigga? Dred Scott used to do this shit like, nigga, he used to get this shit done in 30 minutes. I'm out here for 5 hours. Where the fuck is Dred Scott? This nigga got mad, like, nigga, I need my nigga back. What the fuck? So he got mad, like, fuck this shit, nigga. I need somebody I need all of this shit. Dred Scott, get your ass back here. So he went and sued to get him back and said he didn't have a right to sue him in court because he wasn't a U.S. citizen. Say, nigga, how did this nigga sue me in court? He wasn't even a U.S. citizen, right? So then that's when it gets into, oh, you're not, you know, the white man has no, the black man or the African American, the slave, whatever, has no rights. The white man is bound to respect. About. He wasn't saying that. He was reading a quote from something. See, if you understand, he didn't say that. That wasn't his opinion. He was reading a quote from something that said that. So again, in the decision, he was telling him, look, man, you coming in here as an African descended from African slaves with pure African blood, because that's what he says. That's what he listed as. That's the status he went into the court with. I'm an African slave descended from African slaves of pure African blood. That was his status. So he goes into court, and Chaney's like, African slave, African blood. God damn. And you said what? And so he got to look over at the dude who's suing him, and he like, and the lawsuit says what? He can't come in court because he's not a U.S. citizen. Okay, and then he comes into court in his status, and he says, I'm a pure African slave of African blood. And so you say he's not a U.S. citizen. By his own assertion in his documents, he's telling the court that he's not a U.S. citizen by being a pure African, descended from Africans with pure African blood. And that's what he said. So Tanny is looking at this shit like, whoo, my nigga, damn, you didn't leave us no goddamn room. You're like, So he started reading the shit off like, well, so dealing with what we dealing here, so in the status, so he goes in and we're only dealing with the status. He says this shit over and over again. And we're only dealing with this only. He says we only dealing with your status. He said that shit about 3-4 fucking times. This is hilarious how much he said it. And he said, and this only. So he says, we ain't got no remedy for you, dog, because you came in here calling yourself an African descended from African slaves of pure African blood. We don't got nothing. I'm looking through the laws. I ain't got nothing for you. However, my nigga, if you came in and said that you, and if you came in here like the Native Americans, he says this, if you come in here like the Native Americans who have their own government, their own laws and schools, and who have been on an equal ground in a government to government relationship with us, he acknowledged that the Aboriginals were equal to the American government. This is in the Dred Scott case. The Dred Scott case has never been overturned, just so y'all know. It's never been overturned. So those principles are still in there. That quote of America being on even ground with the Aboriginal nations, that's still in there. It's never been overturned. They say the only reason that the Dred Scott case is not real anymore because they was overturned by the 14th Amendment. However, the 14th Amendment wasn't lawfully ratified. So, but that's a story for another day. However, so boom, he says, nigga, you ain't like the Aboriginals. They got their own laws and government and boo boo. But you came in here and said you are. Let me read this again. This is you, right? That's you, right there. African slave, descended from African slave of pure African blood. That was you, right? That's what happened. Nigga, we ain't got nothing for your status. It's all about status, people. Trying to tell you. If you don't understand that, everything is about your status. What do you call yourself? I can't tell you what to call yourself. Because then, finally, they acknowledged, this is why I put this in here, because they acknowledged it in this right here. This is called House Concurrent, not Congressional, House Concurrent Resolution 331. What is a House Concurrent Resolution? What does that mean? Y'all better start picking up goddamn. Shoot niggas in the face with that shit. Start picking up goddamn Constitution. So a concurrent resolution just means a resolution that was drafted by the Congress that the Senate agrees with. They concur. That's what concurrent means. So when you concur, that means you agree, right? Or when something is concurrent with another thing, that means it goes along with that thing. That's what the word concurrent means, to go along with or to agree. So concurrent resolution, right? House concurrent resolution. Now, the funny thing is, guess when this thing was finally officially submitted into the record? October 21st, which is today, 35 years ago today. So it's the anniversary. Today is the anniversary of this. Right here. Today is the anniversary of this thing right here. Now, what does it say? Concurrent resolution. Now, what is a concurrent resolution? Is it a law that you... So basically, it's a law that... It's not a law necessarily, but it is a policy that the government abides by, because the House and the Congress agree. Now, remember, the president is just the executive branch. So he will sign off on ultimate laws, but on a policy that the House and the Senate agree on, the president doesn't have to sign off on it. However, if you try to hold, oh man, I'm like, what happened? So damn, I just lost my train of thought because I saw somebody's message get erased. If you tried to hold the government legally to it, you couldn't do it because it's not signed by the president as a law. However, if you went to the Congress, if you went to the government to get this stuff done, they would do it because it is government policy, because it is a House concurrent resolution, meaning they have all, the House and the Senate have all agreed that this would be law, right? That this would be policy. Now, what does it say? To acknowledge the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy of Nations to the development of the United States Constitution, and to reaffirm the continuing government-to-government relationship between Indian tribes. Now it says tribes, it really means nation. Just so you know, tribe is a lower term. Tribe is from the term tributary. Just so you know, you're not tribes. You're not Native American tribes. You never were in Indian tribes. The word tribe is a Roman word. It comes from Rome. It's how they divided how they divided their military, right, into tribe. That goes back to that. So you were nations. You weren't tribes. You had over 500 nations over here. Go look up that documentary by Kevin Costner back in the 90s called The 500 Nations. One of the greatest things ever that you will learn your Aboriginal history in America. Shout out to Kevin Costner for that. So again, now it says, remember, it says the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy of Nations to the development of the United States Constitution. They contributed to the development of the United States Constitution. That's what it just said, right? So then it says, whereas the confederation of the original 13 colonies into one republic was influenced by the political system developed by the Iroquois Confederacy, as were many of the democratic principles which were incorporated into the Constitution itself. Did y'all hear that shit? Did y'all hear that shit? It says again, whereas the confederation of the 13 colonies into one republic was influenced by the political system developed by the Iroquois Confederacy. They just said that, meaning us coming into one government as America was basically, we was copying the Iroquois Confederacy. That's what that just said. We was copying y'all, nigga. We was playing copycat. So then it says, and whereas, since the formation of the United States, the Congress has recognized the sovereign status of Indian tribes, meaning nations, they don't mean tribes, the sovereign status of Indian tribes and has, through the exercise of powers reserved to the federal government in the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, which is what I read you earlier. That's Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3. So it says, whereas, through the has recognized the sovereign status of Indian tribes and has, through the exercise of powers reserved to the federal government in the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, dealt with Indian tribes on a government to government basis. So what does that mean? So the federal government only deals with external relations, right? So between the states, they don't deal with communications between the states. The states do that themselves because they're supposed to be sovereign governments, right? But together we're still all one body, the United States. So if anyone wants to come outside of us, foreign, and talk to us, then they have to talk to the federal government, which is the agency we made to talk to foreign bodies, right? And to handle disputes between us. So what they're saying is, if we wanted to deal with the Native Americans or the Aboriginals, the federal government had to deal with them because they were a sovereign government on par with the federal governments, with America. They were even, kill to kill, government to government. So that meant the federal government had to deal with them, right? And then it says, and has, through the treaty clause, Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2, entered into 370 treaties with the Indian tribal nations. Now, there we go, finally called us nations. Then it says, whereas from the first treaty entered into with an Indian nation, the treaty with the Delaware Indians of September 17th, 1787, the Congress has assumed a trust responsibility and obligation to Indian tribes and their members. What does that mean? A trust obligation. What does that mean? A trust obligation. They became trustees of the land. The Constitution, just so you guys know, this is a trust document. This Constitution is a trust document. Go look up the Articles of a Trust. Like the Articles of Incorporation, all that, and articles put together, the stipulations of a trust. That's what this is. These are the provisions of a trust. This is what this is. The government, the Aboriginals allowed America to operate on the land. They gave them the rights to operate on the land. And then America took those rights and put them in a trust. And then passed those rights down to their posterity. That's what happened, right? So, but this is the native, this is them dealing with us, right? So then it says, whereas this trust responsibility calls for Congress to exercise the utmost good faith in dealings with Indians as provided for in the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, which is what I just told you. Yo, Eric Kirkwood, thank you, brother. Appreciate you. So I just told you about the Northwest Ordinance. So it says, this trust responsibility calls for Congress to exercise the utmost good faith in dealings with Indians as provided for in the Northwest Ordinance. Now, what they're trying to say is it was basically what's the word I'm looking for? No conflict. That's what I'm looking for. Yo, one immaculate. Thank you, brother. He said, man, my eyes are messed up right now. Damn. Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't seen it, so don't say nothing about it. So the Northwest Ordinance, they were trying to act like that happened without conflict. Like their stipulations were like, when you move the Native Americans or the Aboriginals off their land, please be nice and kind about it. That's what that's saying. That was our stipulations in the Northwest, or their stipulations in the Northwest Ordinance. All right, we have to move them from their land, but when you do it, please be nice about it. Use the utmost good faith in their dealings with the Native Americans. Be honest with them. Man, please. They went in there trying to wipe the Aboriginals out off their land, which is why the Seminoles and all them, the Miami, the Florida Aboriginals went gangster. Shout out to the Florida Aboriginals. They held on, baby. Them Florida Aboriginals was whooping ass. So then, then it gets into the meat of it. Then it says, resolved by the House of Representatives and the Senate concurring that the Congress, then it says, the Congress on the occasion of 200th anniversary and the signing of the United States Constitution acknowledges the contribution made by the Iroquois Confederacy and other Indian nations to the formation and development of the United States. This is on the 200th anniversary of America. They acknowledge, oh, hey, you guys had something to do with it. Thanks. Appreciate you. Right? Basically, we stole everything from you. So then it says, the Congress also hereby reaffirms the constitutionally recognized government-to-government relationship with Indian tribes, nations, which has been the cornerstone, Masonry, the cornerstone of this nation's official Indian policy. Government to government. We equal, my nigga. We here. We even, right? Then it says, number 3, the Congress specifically acknowledges and reaffirms the trust responsibility and obligation of the United States government to Indian nations, really, including Alaska Natives, for their preservation, protection, and enhancement, including the provision of health, education, social and economic assistance programs as necessary, and including the duty to assist tribes, nations, in their performance of governmental responsibility to provide for the social and economic well-being of their members, and to preserve tribal cultural identity and heritage. And the Congress also acknowledges the need to exercise the utmost good faith in upholding its treaties with the various tribes as the tribes understood them to be. Do y'all get that? We realize we got to uphold the 370 treaties that we made with the Aboriginals as they understood them to be. Not the fuckery that we tried to trick them on, but whatever they thought the treaties were, that's what we have to honor the treaties as. That's what this says. This is House Concurrent Resolution 331, 1988. They wrote this. You ain't heard nothing about this unless you watched 40 Acres and a Fool, which I put this in there, right? So now, what is this goes right along. This goes hand in hand with what? This is the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. This was adopted from the United Nations Declaration on Rights of the Indigenous People, right? So this is what this is. So I'm about to read you just a few things from it, right? So this is the preamble. Just gonna read you a couple things. The preamble. So it says, the member states of this organization, the member states of the Organization of American States, recognizing, boom, that the rights of indigenous peoples are both essential and of historic significance to the present and future of the Americas. The important presence of the Americas of indigenous, the important presence in the Americas of indigenous peoples and their immense contribution to development, plurality and cultural diversity, and reiterating our commitment to their economic and social well-being, as well as the obligation to respect their rights and cultural identity, right? So then it says, reaffirming that indigenous peoples are original, diverse societies with their own identities that form an integral part of the Americas. Concerned that indigenous peoples have suffered from historic injustices as a result of inter alia, their colonization and dispossession of their lands, territories, and resources, thus preventing them from exercising, in particular, their right to development in accordance with their own needs and interests. This is what they say, that this is the concern of the rights of indigenous peoples. And then it says again, recognizing especially their rights to their lands, territories, and resources. This is in the, again, American rights, American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, which is just a copy of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, right? So let's move along. Then it goes to Section 1. Let's look up Section 1. Section 1, Indigenous Peoples' Scope of Application. Article 1. It says the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People applies to indigenous peoples of the Americas. 2. This is the most important. This is the most important. Self-identification as indigenous peoples will be the fundamental criteria for determining to whom the declaration applies. The states, plural, shall respect the right of such self-identification as indigenous, individually, meaning by myself, or collectively, in keeping with the practices and institutions of each indigenous people. Did y'all hear that shit? So now, again, you got House Congressional Resolution 331, recognizing that they owe the Aboriginals everything, and we got to give it back to them. This is what this says. Congress and Senate. Boom. This ain't been overturned or nothing. Then you put that together with the American Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, and boom, it says self-identification as indigenous peoples will be a fundamental criteria for determining whom this declaration applies. The states shall respect the right to such self-identification as indigenous, individually or collectively, in keeping with practices and institutions. So you can tell them who you are. It would be good if you were able to go back in your family history and bring some family history with you, but you don't have to do that. You can just say, I'm Native American, I'm Aboriginal, I'm this or whatever. And they have to fucking acknowledge it by law. They have to acknowledge it. So you can go by yourself and say, I'm Aboriginal, or go with a group of people and say, we the Naga Nation. We real Naga Nation. And this is our custom, this is our tribe, this is boom, 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 boom. And we're Aboriginal to the lands of America. And they have to adhere to that. Now, the Snyder Act takes you away from all of that, because the Snyder Act puts you as a citizen of the U.S. government, which makes you subject to them, not on a government-to-government basis with them. It makes you now a U.S. small c citizen subject to the United States government or United States corporation. That's how that shit works. And so unless you sever your contracts with the United States corporation, which is a Delaware corporation, file number 219-3946, it's actually two different corporations. It's United States of America, Inc. and the United States of America, Inc., which now, if you separate, now if you want to change your status, you guys have to do two. When I did it, it was only one. But after I did mine, looking lo and behold, they got my paperwork and said, oh shit, and they created another United States of America after I sent my paperwork in. Coincidence? Only one United States of America, Inc., when I sent my paperwork in. 2 years later, boom, they created another, the United States of America. So, again, then Article 3, this is the last one I'm reading. Article 3, indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of blah, blah, blah. Indigenous peoples have the right to self-determination. By virtue of that right, they freely determine their political status and freely pursue their economic, social, and cultural development. Y'all hear that? So, what these two documents basically have just said, damn, I got water on this? God damn. But basically what these two documents have just said, damn it, Timmy Tight Top, damn juice. But these just said you have a status that's above anything else you are in right now. It's really above America's, because the United Nations Declaration on Indigenous Peoples' Rights, indigenous status is the highest in the land. It's the highest in all the lands. Boom. These two things right here says you can go get money. Now, do I believe in going to get money? I want to read you something else real quick. Talking about the Aboriginal, the Native Americans, right? So I showed you guys this before. This is correspondence. This is the correspondence, the diplomatic correspondence of the United States of America between 1783 and 1789. That same time when they were doing the Northwest Ordinance. This is correspondence going on during the Northwest Ordinance, right? So, So this is about one of the chiefs who had traveled, one of the chiefs of the Wyandot nations. Now, I just read off all of those people who were in the United Indian Nations, right? The Wyandots were one of them. Now, I want you to hear how close the Aboriginals and the colonists were back then. This is how connected they were. So it says, Scotash, the son of half-king, Scotash, son to the half-king of the Wyandots. Hold on. Oh, I'm messing up. All right, so basically this dude, because I don't want to read the whole thing because it takes a long time. So I'll just give you a background. So this dude named Scotash, he was son of the Wyandot king or chief. And he went to the congressman to deliver a message from the Congress people, right? He went there. Why are y'all messages getting retracted? Oh, I'm like, why are y'all messages getting retracted? That's all because I said so. Your message got retracted. But so Scotash went to the Congress, the colonies, and said, "Yo, I'm bringing you a message from I'm bringing you a message from the chief of the Wyandots, right?" And so he delivered a message, and so boom. Basically, he was traveling to different lands, and he wanted to see if the Congress would help pay for it, right? So this is what he says. So Scotash, son to the half-king of the Wyandots, with Monsignor Doulier, his interpreter, coming again to the president's house. And this is President Elias Boudinot. I think that's the president at the time, Elias Boudinot. So coming to his house, the president spoke to him as follows. Now, this is the press. So before he delivered a message from his father to the chief saying, "Yo, I'm about to travel to this land, to deal with these people who've been acting up, and we want to know, are they some of your people? Are they some of your people in the colonies that's been messing up some of our people's nation, our lands up there?" So he wanted to know that. They sent the message to the president. Then president came back and gave a message. So this is what he said. So he says, the president spoke to him as follows. "Brother, I have communicated to the council the words you delivered to me from my father." He said Scottish. No, but no, his name is Scotash. Scotosh. Excuse me. Scotosh. Scotash. So again, I'm only reading this part because I want y'all to hear this. This is the president delivering a message back to the chief of the Wyandots. He's telling this to Scotash, the son of the chief, right? So he says, "Brother," he's calling the son of the chief, "Brother, I have communicated to the council," which is the Congress. "I've communicated to the Congress the words you delivered to me from my father. The president of the United States is calling the Wyandotte chief his father. Yes, Akusa Nayanor. Yes, he's calling him his father. That's how integrate, that's how much they relied on the Aboriginals. The Aboriginals taught these people. And as a matter of fact, he talks about he's talking about one of the states, but the president says that nation, so he's called, the president replies to him, I don't know about that nation you talk about. That's far from me. But he's talking about a state. So back then they called states nations. They were interchangeable. The state was interchangeable with nation. So I'm just giving y'all some history of who y'all are here and why you have so much damn power. Now you can go back. They're holding, I told you, they're holding 550 acres. 550 million acres, They're holding 550 million acres for Aboriginals to come back. The land of Bureau, the Indian, in the Bureau of Indian Affairs, they're just holding it. It's in there. If you go down the Bureau of Indian Affairs rabbit hole, just go to their website, start clicking on their shit, and start going down to claims and Indian claims and who's claimed and all that. They tell you they got 530 million acres of land just in hold. They holding it. It's generating money, and it's generating like $20 million here, and they taking that money and they're putting it in a trust, in a bank account. And then when you go down and you scroll and it says claimants on the bank account, you scroll and it says claimants and it says zero. Money just sitting in the account. No claimants. That's your shit. Now, this is why that, we going back to that Snyder Act, that whole Snyder Act bullshit. No. This is why you don't get caught up in TikToks and half-ass law. Learn the law for real. Do you know to be able to vote, you had to be something called a qualified elector, not a voter. Voters are not in there. You had to be a qualified elector. Remember, the word vote. Vote means to wish. Elect means to choose. Those are two different terms. Vote, wish, elect, choose. These are the two different words you need to understand. So if you're voting, you're just wishing somebody was in office. When you are electing, you are choosing that person. But you had to be a qualified elector. What did that mean? Qualified elector. It means you had to know something about this shit. About this damn thing. You just couldn't wake up one goddamn day and all you have is knowledge on donut making, and then you vote on how the country's supposed to go, but all you know is how to fry donuts. Like, nigga, if you don't get your donut frying ass out this booth trying to pick president, nigga, you don't know shit. Get the fuck out of here. So you had to be a qualified elector, meaning you had to be knowledgeable at least minimally on the government in order for you to be involved. That's how that shit means. Qualified electors. Go look it up in this damn Constitution. It says qualified electors, not voters. So unless you are a qualified elector, you ain't even considered. But at the end of the day, again, you have to change your status. You got to go change your status, separate from the corporation, and then reclaim that. Then, so again, you can change that status, reclaim your status, really. So you're changing it and reclaiming it at the same time. Then once you do that, you can use that status because it's the top status in the land. Gather assets, create an Aboriginal trust, and then put that in the Aboriginal trust, which is what America is right now, which is why America can't do a lot of stuff because most of the stuff they have is in trust, which is why they're trying to do all the shit they're doing right now. Merge you with another government and do this and all that. Because the land is locked up in trust. And they know that. But unless you come back in your proper status, you can't get it. Now, I don't necessarily believe that you should do that. I believe you should change your status, build a business, a network with other people, acquire the land, which is way easier than going back to the Bureau of Indian Affairs and begging for your damn land. You can just acquire the land, take the land now, put that land in the Aboriginal Trust. Now they can never take it again. Because now you understand who your real status is. Now you've reclaimed that. And now you reasserted that power of that status. But you going to try to go back at him and say, please, can I get my land back, Mr. White Man, that we gave you? Please, please. Nigga, I ain't gonna give you shit. You come back to me, nigga, possession of 9/10 of the law. I ain't giving you nothing. Unless you able to come and whoop my ass and take this land, nigga, I couldn't hear you, my nigga. That sugar daddy in my ear. Oh. Like, damn. What was you saying, my nigga? Oh, I know. That's what they gonna do. Every time you try to ask for that land, they ain't giving you shit. You have to be smarter. Work smarter, not harder. Land is cheap as shit right now in America. You can go buy that land, put it in a trust, lock it up forever. Now that you understand how to do it now, you're not just buying land and then passing it down in a will. You're buying land, putting it in a trust, then making their descendants the successor trustee, which then they can just take over the day you pass or whatever, and boom, they in control of it now, and then they do the same thing to their kids and 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 their kids. And that's how you keep the wealth in your in your family. All right. So, goddamn it, just gave you goddamn a little makeshift status class. If you want the real one, go to patreon.com, sign up to the status class levels, because all of that is in the status class level plus way more on understanding how to get your status back. But again, if you sign up to the highest levels, if you're able to explain the paperwork, I give it to you for free. Once you learn them, and you're going to be able to explain it. If you watch the videos and you watch what I'm telling you, you'll be able to explain the paperwork. If you're paying attention, then I give you that for free. But this is the knowledge that you need to get back. This is what we've lost. This is what we need to get back. So that was a little sample for you, because I had to break down that Snyder Act and let you know the Snyder Act is bullshit. It's nothing. It's not going to get you any money back. You can go change, everybody coming up with cards. Well, I changed my name from African American to Native American on my license. You can do that anyway. You, on the census, you've been able to call yourself whatever you want since 1960. Since 1960, you've been able to call yourself whatever you want in America on the census. White, black, African American, whatever. You've just been calling yourself black, not knowing that you didn't have to put yourself in that box. So it's up to you now. Now that you understand who you are, what your status is, it's up to you to start changing it if you're going to move forward in the future. If you want to do the same shit you've been doing, stay in the same place you were before. That's all. If you want to do something different, if you want to move forward, then you need to, do something different, which is, again, reclaiming that status and all the other things that go along with that. So the last thing I have for y'all, man, police stop lesson number 6. So, can the police reach inside of your car at a traffic stop? So, you've seen this before. Police pull you over and, you say, what you pull me over for? And they come and they lean in your car. They leaning all over your car, or they tell you to get out of the car. You don't want to get out of the car. Now, let me say this. If a police officer has stopped you lawfully, if it's a lawful stop, you have to get out of the car. You have to get out of the car, for sure. However, if you know that they have not stopped you lawfully, it's an unlawful traffic stop, what do you do? So, in most cases, in most states, what you want to do is, there's procedures to that. If you believe that the police officer has stopped you unlawfully, you can call 911. That's one thing. Get yourself on the record. You can call 911. But also, when they get there and you don't believe them, ask for a supervisor. That's the main thing. When you call for a supervisor, it's department policy. usually 9 times out of 10, that they have to get a supervisor. Even if they say, well, I'm not going to call for a supervisor. If you push it, they have to do it. Because they may just try to lie to you right off the bat because they don't feel like doing it. They don't feel like staying there. But they have to call a supervisor if you push the line. Because the supervisor helps minimize liability. So this is called redundancy. So in order for the street cop to not get the department in deep shit, they'll take 20 minutes for a supervisor to go out there to make sure that the arrest is lawful. So you call the supervisor out. Supervisor comes out. He sides with the officer who pulled you over. What do you do then? You still don't believe that they pulled you over, right? So now you're sitting in the car. You don't want to get out of the car. And they want to make you get out of the car. So what do? They reach inside the car. You got the window rolled down. You shouldn't have the window rolled down. If you've been listening, none of you should have your window rolled down at the police stop. But if your window is rolled down, because you weren't listening to me, and they reach inside the car, or even if they're just leaning on the car and they got their hand over the window, do you know what that's called? That's called breaking the plane. Just so you guys know, that right there is considered a Fourth Amendment unreasonable search of your person. And you can sue them for a Fourth Amendment violation if a police officer reaches in your car. Now, to get you out of the car, they're not supposed to reach in the car and open your door. They're supposed to open the door from the outside. Now, if they do have a lawful stop, if they're lawfully able to do it, then they may break the window and then do it like that. If you've taken so long to get out of the car and they lawfully stopped you, they may do it. But if it's something it's an unlawful stop and you want to dispute it, again, stay there, ask for the supervisor. But again, if they lean into your car, reach over and pull your car, all that's called breaking the plane. And so those two cases that deal with that, one is called Ngumeze versus United States. That's a Ninth Circuit case. Ngumezi. That's Ngumezi, I think. Ngumeze. I don't know. Well, some of you African niggas tell me how to say that. But I think it's Ngumeze versus United States. And then the other one is New York versus Class. CLASS, Class. So be aware, because when a police officer reaches over that damn boom, even if it's a finger, just so y'all know, even if it's a finger, he puts a finger in your car, it's considered breaking the plane, and you can sue them out their ass. See how knowing the law gets you so much shit? Just knowing that. If a police officer put his finger right over your window, bow, you got him. So you may want to bait him. If you know you were pulled over unlawfully, just roll that window down. Yeah, officer, how can I help you? No, I don't believe you pulled me over lawfully. I'm just, what? Can you tell me why you pulled me over? Oh, you gonna tell me when I get out of the car? Well, I need to know beforehand. Well, can you call your supervisor? No, you can't call. Well, don't your policy say that you have to call your supervisor? I know that's part of your department policy, so will you please call your supervisor? If not, then we're going to call 911 right now so I can get a record of this. Boom. Okay. Then he still want to go. He's like, no, I need you to get out of the car right now. He reaches over. Boom. You don't fight him. You got him. Don't fight him. If they try to reach in the car, don't fight him. You got him. You're supposed to have your camera out, filming, first off. All of that should have been on camera. Then, when they reach in that damn car and open the door, boom, you got them. Breaking the plane. That's very important. You need to remember that, because police officers try to do that all the time and act like they just able to just molest your property, and do anything they want, and they can't. But they can, because you don't know. You don't know shit. So, God damn it. Get over there and arm yourself. Stop playing. You see all this stuff that I know. Don't you want to know the law like I know the law? Be able to recall it like this. This is what we doing. Constitutional rights card. This is really what you give them when they try to get you out of the car before they break the plane. And then you hand them this. You say, look, you want to keep pushing your luck, officer? You're going to lose that qualified immunity, baby. And boom, you give them this and you say, I don't answer questions, officer. You move it around the window like this. Press it on the window all hard. Like, can you see it now? But again, this is all you have to show them. Again, this is how you assert your rights. Do it in a conscious and logical manner now, a smart way. We don't have to fight back. We don't have to be scared. We don't have to do any of that. Then, boom, make sure you armor up, because if they start arguing with you and doing all this, you can, boom, you start asking them questions pertaining to your rights. You should never answer questions from a police officer, but you can ask questions when you know how to trap a police officer into violating your rights, or at least saying that they're violating your rights and then do it. Boom, you got them. Make sure you do it on camera. And then right here, you go after that police insurance that when they, that they get when they violate your rights, and they do it without knowing they violated your rights. So when you alert them that they're in danger of violating your constitutional rights, and then you get them on camera doing it, they lose that qualified immunity, and then boom, you can go get their public official bond or police insurance, because some of them may have one or the other, because some states allow them to have insurance instead of a bond. But you know that, and whatever it is, you'd be able to go after it right here. And then again, we have all the tools of the trade for you to learn. The flashcards, law and government flashcards right here, and boom, the police stop flashcards. And then we have Supreme Court case flashcard getting ready to come out to help you guys understand and be able to pull the ammunition. Because when you start rattling off police stop Supreme Court cases, because that's what runs everything. Supreme Court is the top court in the land. So if you say a Supreme Court case, they have to abide by it. So we're going to do that. So we're going to have different cards. But right now, if you order the Great Book of Melanin Research, the hard copy, like we said, boom, right here. I will include that this week because I almost tripped over and dropped my chicken. Damn it. I'm going to drop my damn air fryer chicken. My air fryer's off the chain too, y'all. First of all, my air fryer chicken can't nobody beat me. I'm the air fryer chicken king. I dare anybody to test me. I'm the air fryer chicken god. Not a king, I'm a god. So, but I almost tripped over air fryers to see all these damn cards is in the floor. So make sure y'all help a brother out so I don't trip on the floor in the in the kitchen. And so y'all hooked it up. So you get all 4 of these this week. If you order the Great Book of Melanin Research, you get that with the whole package right there. And again, if you want to learn the law for free, make sure you go to knowyourrightsfoundation.org, because we're teaching the law for free. And this is what you're working for, this certification right here. Basic police stop law certification. We are hooking you up, everybody. We are about to change this whole system. We about to do that. If you want to be a part of it, get on over here with what we doing, because nobody's ever done this before. Just so y'all know, no one has ever done this, ever. Not Caucasians, not melanated people, not Asian people. No one has taught on a scale like this, on a grassroots scale. No one has ever gone in and taught the law to the community on a grassroots scale. What happens when you start knowing the law and you're able to even the playing ground with the system? Because that's what they have over you, is the fact that you don't know the law, but then tell you that ignorance of the law is no excuse. And you be like, wait a minute, what? Well, what the fuck do I learn that shit at? You're like, I don't know, my nigga, but you go learn it. Good luck. That's what they do to you. Good luck, little buddy. Oh, real quick. Also, if you want the cupcake exemption cards, make sure you go to knowyourrightsfoundation.org. We have the cupcake exemption cards for you and notices. Boom. This is what you send. Oh, baby. And this is what you send into your job. If they try to force you to get the cupcake, letting them know that they are liable for every second that the cupcake stays in your system. Again, we have everything for you. We are building this super informational law reservoir, everybody, that you want to be able to use forever. It's never been here before, but we're building it now. And so take advantage of it. And I'm out of here, guys. I'm hungry as hell. About to give me some chicken shawarma. And I'm thirsty as hell. I want to say shout out again to my Uncle Tommy. Love you, Uncle Tommy. Thank you for introducing me to all of this alternative crazy ass information that's led me down the rabbit hole that I have never climbed out of. I appreciate you. It was meant to happen. It happened in the craziest way, but it was meant to happen, and I appreciate you, Uncle Tommy. Love you, man. Peaceful journey. I know I'll be seeing you again. Say what's up to my pops. Say what's up to Grandma and Pop and everybody. I love you. Thank everybody for joining. Thank everybody hitting the super chat. I appreciate y'all, man. And the Cash Apps. Love y'all for that. I'm about to get out of here because I'm hungry as hell and it's hot. Love y'all. Deuces. Thanks for all my... Oh, real quick. Thank you to all my mods real quick, too. All my mods, appreciate you.